Hey guys, welcome back to the channel and more movies to review. And we're now going to take a look at the third movie in the Planet of the Apes franchise. This one came out in 1971, so it's the second sequel, and this one came exactly 1 year after the first sequel. So this one is called Escape from the Planet of the Apes. This one has got a little bit of comedy elements in it. It is also very stylish for the 1970s, basically. But yeah, it is a little lighthearted for a while, but then it gets really dark towards the end. You will find out why, basically, when you watch the film. So, Escape from the Planet of the Apes is a 1971 American science fiction film directed by Don Taylor. It stars a returning Roddy McDowall as Cornelius, Kim Hunter as Dr. Zira, Brad Dillman, and Ricardo Montalban. So this is 11 years before Wrath of Khan, but just a few years after Space Seed. And to be honest, he looks. I think it's probably the makeup as well. He looks a lot older compared to what he looks in Space Seed, but of course, just 11 years later, he looks much buffer and more, athletic and more strong in 1982's Wrath of Khan. Anyway, you've also got Natalie Trundy returning as Dr. Stephanie Braxton, and Eric Braeden plays the villain of the movie, Dr. Otto Hasline. So, the reason why it's called Escape from the Planet of the Apes is because you see the spaceship, that is Taylor's spaceship, landing on 1973 Earth, and the military and NASA go and help take the ship out of the ocean and onto shore, and they believe it's Taylor and team returning. The astronauts are returning back from their mission, and they're about to congratulate them when the three astronauts come out and they remove their helmets, and you see it is actually chimpanzees, upright standing, almost humanoid chimpanzees, and this causes them to be surprised. They're taken to a secret military base. They have no clue what's happening. So how they were able to escape is the fact where you need to really, excuse me, you need to really have a lot of throw your belief into the atmosphere. So apparently they're joined by the third fellow chimpanzee, who's another scientist named Dr. Milo, and he's supposed to be this genius. He, along with Zira and Cornelius, salvages the spaceship originally used by Taylor, repaired it in time. So I'm guessing there wasn't much repair, but then how did he fly the spaceship back in time to 1973 Earth? How was that possible? So they managed to escape the destruction of the Earth. But they didn't, and the funny part is they didn't actually know that was happening. So why did they do that? Nothing is explained, but they do say that later on they will say that they saw the destruction of the Earth. So they're taken to this secluded ward of the Los Angeles Zoo under the observation of scientist Dr. Stephanie Branton, who they call her Stevie, played by Natalie Trundy, and Dr. Lewis Dixon. So initially, they do not let them know that they can speak, but Milo is killed by a gorilla who is he's supposed to be sick, and he's right next to them. So when he gets too close, he actually gets killed. And then they do inform Stevie and Lewis that they can speak, and then they're stunned, of course. But then finally they are brought towards the this is some committee, a presidential commission, because it reaches they have to inform the president. So he has this commission formed to investigate how basically the spaceship came back, and how they are these intelligent apes. So Zira and Cornelius are very, very scared about telling the entire truth. So they initially do not say that they know Taylor. They reveal that they came from the future and escaped Earth when the war broke out. They became, and they tell them that they saw the destruction of. Do they actually say that in the initial? No, they just say that there was a war. They are welcomed as guests of the government, and initially they do tell Stephanie and Lewis about the truth, but they keep it They decide to keep it among themselves. They're taken and they become celebrities. They're taken to different places. They are staying in a lavish hotel suite, drinking champagne, wine, all the best foods. They go shopping and all that stuff. 70s indulgence is actually shown. However, Otto Hasslein is very, very doubtful. So a little later, they find out that Zira is actually pregnant. She faints while they are going to a museum of history. So they find out that she reveals she's actually pregnant, and then he suspects. So he drugs her. Well, not really drugs her, but he piles her with champagne, and he asks her questions, and she does say that they know Taylor, and they talk about it. And now the committee is actually angry. They question them a lot more. They finally do mention then that basically, humans got wiped out in wars, and the apes took over, and that basically the remaining humans, surviving humans, became mute, and they were treated kind of like savages by the now intelligent apes, much like how animals are treated by humans. And this does not go well with the rest. So now they take into a military area confinement. They want to do some test on them. They want to do it. They want to have some more, truth serum doing it. So Zira is actually now happy that they've told the truth, but their life is going to be in trouble. One of the orderlies, when they bring their food, he playfully refers to the unborn child as little monkey, and this is considered to be a very racist comment because they prefer to be called apes, chimpanzees, or gorillas or orangutans. And so Cornelius loses his temper, knocks the orderly to the floor. Unfortunately, the orderly dies. They escape with the help of Stevie and Lewis. They're given some supplies, and they are told to go and hide out in an abandoned shipyard, where there's one of these ships that Lewis remembers playing as a child. So he says, you should be safe over there. Unfortunately, because one of the bags is very heavy for her to carry. I forgot to mention that the baby is actually born. Is the baby born with that? Oh yeah, sorry. She sorry. No, the baby is not actually born, but she is tired, so she actually drops one of the they are taken to a circus where they're hiding out initially, and that circus is run by Armando, Senator Armando, who's basically Ricardo Montalban. And then when there's a lot of search being happening, that is when they need to escape, and they go. So by this time the baby is born. In the circus, there is also another chimpanzee, female chimpanzee, who's actually given birth to a baby chimpanzee. So they actually switch the baby. Nobody knows, with the exception of Armando and Zira and Cornelius. But they take the other baby, and then they go across. They are found out in the shipyard and by Otto Hasslein, because Zira unfortunately left a bag behind, and while they were on their way to reach the particular area, she found it too heavy to carry the baby and all the belongings together. They find the bag. They find their hideout place, and in the shootout, Cornelius is killed, Otto Hasslein is killed, Zira is killed, and the baby as well. So they think everything is done, but the baby, who they call Milo, is actually safe and with Armando in the circus. And as they pack their circus tents and they're leaving, you can hear the baby Milo say his first words. Mama, I guess that's what he said. He begins to talk. and all that part is actually kind of little odd to see over here. So yeah, very very sad ending for Zira and Cornelius. Of course, Otto has line deserved to die, but um, like I said, the movie is actually funny in places, but towards the end, it definitely gets a lot more darker with all these deaths. If for the fact that you can forgive them for making the apes, making the chimpanzees fly the spaceship, which I still can't buy that. But no matter how many times I've seen, I think I've seen this movie like 4 times now. It's it's one of those films which you can leave it on any time of the day, especially on a lazy afternoon, and you can watch it. Um, until towards the end of it when it gets a little bit sadder. But yeah, it's actually quite enjoyable film. I will give this movie an 8 out of 10, I guess. It is pretty good. Um, it's not as good as the first two films, but like I said previously, this is my third favorite. But yeah, it's kind of like a sentimental one for me because of the fact of how they're killed. So yeah, I will give it an 8 out of 10. It is a good movie to enjoy, and yeah, that's basically it. So we shall see you on the next movie review coming up pretty soon.